One thing that is very different, I said we're not a Chinese company, but one thing that is very different about, let's say, companies that are born in Asia and e-commerce that is born in the West. We are very, in the West, oriented towards an objective. Most of the online apps that I use today, if I'm buying something, I open it because I know what I want to buy. So I open it, I buy it, I get it, next day delivery, I'm done. We are a very different engagement platform for our consumers. So people come on our platform, they spend a long time. They come and they look, they open the app to see what's new. They're not necessarily there because they need to buy something, but they like to see what's new. They like to see what their friends have bought. They like to see what's trending. So there's a lot more interaction. And it's discovery. So people come to find things out. So that's what's really, I think, a key difference between the way the platforms are running. My name is Christina Fontana. I am the head EMEA of brand operations for Shein. Last year, you had Peter Day here. He arrived from the West Coast of the United States. I've arrived from Milan, so we're getting closer. And I hope that if Sven invites us back next year, we'll have somebody from our German office to tell you about our progress. Let's see. So first, I want to talk to you about our mission. What is it that we do? Our mission is to make the beauty of fashion accessible to all. And today I'm going to talk to you about the 4 ways that we do that. We have a demand-led approach, which I'll go a little bit into detail with, that helps us develop the products that our consumers want. We empower suppliers. This is a really important part of our business. Suppliers are fundamental to our success, and they're fundamental to serving our customers around the world. We're going to talk about how matching these 2 pieces, demand and supply, as economics has told us forever, is leading to much higher efficiencies in the fashion market. And last, I'll talk to you a little bit more about what we're doing locally in Europe and in Germany specifically. So, demand-led puts our customers first. Hold on, this is the first time I use these little note cards. So, customer first. So, number 1, the beauty of fashion is for everyone. What do we mean by that? We like to say that we are democratizing fashion. So usually what happens is people get to see what designers have created, what everybody thinks that, I don't know, bright green is the color of the year. Instead, we like to empower expression. And we listen to our consumers so that they can tell us what they want to wear. Let me give you an example. So people will come on our platform, and they'll start searching for things like plaid skirt. And we look at these inputs that we have from our consumers around the world, and by tracking these inputs from people all over the world, we're able to look at trends. Now, to do this, we don't need to look at any single person. Nobody cares what Christina wants to buy. We're looking at trends so that we can forecast what people want to buy. And we allow people to find products that they want. So this on-demand production, which I'll talk about in the next slide, really enables us to find the products and provide products that our customers want to buy. Our mission here is that all of our products are wanted, valued, and worn. So this leads into what we're talking about when we look at our production model. So demand-led digital-first retail means that we are creating products that people actually want to wear, like I said. So how do we do this? I mentioned that everybody's looking for plaid skirts. We feed that information and share it with our suppliers. And we will create maybe 100 products the first batch round. And we'll put it on our website. And from there, we can see how that product is trending, and we can have demand match our supply. All of our vendors are connected to tools that enable them to reach and respond to the demand. So we're helping suppliers by helping them understand the best products that they can make for the market so that they can increase their sales. And at the same time, we're delighting our customers by bringing them the things that they actually want to buy. So fundamentally, this is changing the way that fashion and consumers work together. Now, Sven mentioned yesterday, I think it was Sven that mentioned it, but maybe not, it may have been Ed, about consumer to manufacturing or manufacturing to consumer. We can use whatever term that we like. We also didn't talk a lot about artificial intelligence because we've been doing this for 12 years. So I know AI is a big thing and everybody wants to talk about it. A lot of what we do is using consumer learning models. It is looking very closely at the data. but these are all things that we do no matter what the technology is. A little bit more about how we empower our suppliers, because this is very important. When we decided to change how products would be made, finding factories that would make 100 products when they're used to making 10,000 for other business lines, it was a little bit of a challenge. So we did a few things that really help us empower these suppliers. One is about training and upskilling. Because everything that we do is digital, we are training and upskilling our vendors and suppliers to work in a digital world. Number two, we are focusing on facilities enhancement. Facilities enhancement means that, first of all of our processes are digitalized, so we are digitizing these factories. But not only, we have a huge investment that is helping us make our vendors and suppliers go green, installing solar, using clean energy, so that we can reduce our impact. And the last thing is community services. So we focus a lot on how we can make the lives better of the people in the factory. So improving canteens. I'm not sure how you call this in Germany, but basically where people get lunch when they're in the factory, or the different services that they have within the environment or the community, because it is a community of the manufacturers that we work with. So this is really important because matching these two things, so vendors, supply, and customer demand, is how we improve efficiency, we reduce waste, and we believe we make a better relationship between consumers and manufacturers. Now, what are we doing about local operations? So what we've seen is that, as I mentioned, we see inputs where it says, oh, we want plaid skirts this year. Well, it also happens that our consumers are on our platforms. They're looking for brands, right? They're looking to buy brands on our platform. So what have we decided to do? And this is very much about our local operations and a great opportunity for people in Germany and Europe. We're enabling and upskilling digital possibilities for retailers and brands to reach directly our customer base. We were nominated, we were very proud and happy to actually participate in this. We are a very large online platform. It means that we are working very closely with the European Union to be sure that we are following all the rules and regulations. It also means that we have over 100 million consumers in Europe. And the marketplace opportunity allows brands and retailers to connect directly with our consumers. It's a shop-in-shop model, so it's a little different maybe than what you're used to using on other online sellers in Europe, because the retailer, the brand, maintains complete control over what they're doing on our platform. But I'm not going to go too much into that. I just wanted to share what we're doing locally to increase the power of our reach and our relationship with our consumers to enable local businesses. So the last thing is, at a glance, because I didn't mention this, who are we? So we are a global fashion company. We're serving consumers, in over 150 countries. Sven, you mentioned China. We do not sell anything in China. Keep this in mind. Every time you see a number about Shein, we don't sell anything in China. People often refer to us as a Chinese company. We are based in Singapore. Like many other manufacturers, we do manufacture in China. We're proud of that, as others are. But we manufacture in China. We're a company based in Singapore, and we serve customers in 150 countries around the world. We have a huge presence on social media, which is something else that we can leverage with our consumers that join our platform or brands and retailers that join our platform. The other thing that I love about our social media presence, and I'm just going to say this, it wasn't on my cards, but 250 million social media followers, but most of the postings that you see on social media about Shein are organic posts from people that love our products. Our customers are super engaged with our platform, so it's something that we really like to see. And that's it. So we like to make fashion and beauty, the beauty of fashion, accessible to all. That's all for you. Oh, what we said over here.
Yeah, you can leave the slide up. Thank you, Christina, and apologies for I fell into the trap. Of course, you're not selling into China, and you're not based there. But anyway, it's like I don't know, the short-sighted European perspective. So thanks for correcting me. I mean, this is these impressive numbers, and we heard Ed yesterday saying that Meta and ByteDance are very happy having you as a customer. Is that correct?
I'm sure they are. Yes, of course we use all of the social media platforms that every company uses to reach our consumers. Like I mentioned, we use those to promote our own brands. You'll see here that we have, oh, here they are. We have quite a few brands. Most people consider that we are Shein, but in fact we have many different brands. Many different brands so that we are covering different customer expectations. Obviously, PetThin is about pets. Let's see if it's on. Motif is designed. We actually have our own designer based in Paris who designs that line for us. So all these different lines are helping us meet different customer needs. And then we amplify that through social media. But like I also said, a lot of that interaction is very organic. Because customers, when they come on our platform, they're extremely engaged with the different things that we're doing, and they share with their customers. One thing that is very different, I said we're not a Chinese company, but one thing that is very different about, let's say, companies that are born in Asia and e-commerce that is born in the West. We are very, in the West, oriented towards an objective. Most of the online apps that I use today, if I'm buying something, I open it because I know what I want to buy. So I open it, I buy it, I get it, next day delivery, I'm done. We are a very different engagement platform for our consumers. So people come on our platform, they spend a long time. They come and they look, they open the app to see what's new. They're not necessarily there because they need to buy something, but they like to see what's new. They like to see what their friends have bought. They like to see what's trending. So there's a lot more interaction. And it's discovery. So people come to find things out. So that's what's really, I think, a key difference between the way the platforms are running.
Yeah, and I mean, like you say, like you have teams in 19 countries, so you also cater in a different way to the audience, or is it a one-fits-all approach?
No, absolutely, it's very different. We are a young company. I joined the company 1 year ago. That's why I said Peter was here last year. I hadn't joined yet. And we are growing out. Our growth has been spectacular. It has been very, very quick. We're very happy with that. But that means, like any startup, we are building out our teams across Europe and across the world. So we like to provide a localized experience for consumers everywhere. So German consumers will see something different from French consumers, which will see something different from the Italians, from Mexicans, from Southeast Asia. Each consumer, each country, obviously, is going to see different things, but also each consumer. They will see different things based on their past experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and well, according to the numbers, you don't have to comment on them, but the Financial Times came up with like 45 billion and a very profitable business for a company with that growth pace, right? Mm-hmm. So apparently, you're doing a lot of things right. And I was wondering, if you take all the money and spend it on social media and give it away to other platforms, where does your margin come from? Like where you make money? Is that because you cut out the middleman in the direct-to-consumer, like from factory to consumer approach?
Yeah, so most of a big piece of the margin comes from, I don't know how many people here work in the fashion industry, but a typical collection will be overproduced to 20 to 40%. I'll give you another example. I live in Milan. Usually, Milan is much warmer than Berlin. It's raining in Milan. It's been raining all month long. This means that retailers are already starting to put things on sale, summer clothes on sale in Milan. Shein, in our in our market, we're responding to those kind of inputs in real time. So that's 20 to 40% of overproduction that we do not produce. Obviously, this is impactful on our margins. It's also very impactful on the planet. So that means that that is 40% of materials we didn't use. It's 40% of electricity that we didn't use. It's 40% of water that we didn't use. It's 40% of transport and logistics that we didn't use. We don't have any warehouses. So warehousing costs a lot of money. It is very resource intensive. Because of our model, we keep things in our warehouses for a very short amount of time. So that's another way we're able to recuperate costs and pass that back on to our consumers. And in terms of our marketing budget, it's not higher than any other high street brand. I mean, we certainly don't spend more than Nike or Adidas or Puma. So it's very much in line, I would say, with an industry standard.
Okay. When you look at the stickiness of your offer, is that because it's always what costs money is to actually attract new customers to the platform? Is that once you have them, so you have a lot of churn, or on the other hand, you have a lot of retention?
So I love this little piece of information. I said we're 12 years old, right, as a company. So most people believe that Shein's key customer is a 13-year-old girl. In fact, our biggest customer base is millennials. Why? Because they've been buying with us for 12 years. And if you started when you were 18, 12 years ago, you're 30 now. So our platform is incredibly sticky. We follow things like new customer acquisition. New customer acquisition, of course, is extremely important for us. But what we really focus on, and we're very proud and happy about, is we have probably about 35% of our consumers buy on our platform more than 5 times a year. So that means that they're coming back and they are repeat purchasers. The ones we're trying to move away from are those what we call digital opportunists, right? The ones that come online because it's Black Friday, they purchase something, or it's Amazon Prime Day. They come once a year and they leave. We like people to have a relationship with us, and we're very proud that that is actually how our consumers are engaging with us.
Okay, and actually you come from a OEM standpoint, like you identified a trend and like, create little badges, put them online. And now you set up, we call it Shein as a service, so you open up your platform to other existing brands. And that's, for me, it's a smart move. How does it go?
So there are 2 pieces that we're working on. If we look at the on-demand production, of course we do this in China, because this is where world production is based. So we have a base in Guangdong where we are connected to manufacturers. But we've extended this also. We have a production center in Brazil, we have a production center in Turkey, where we are allowing manufacturers to connect into this platform and produce for us locally. This also means that we can reduce time to consumer, we can reduce our economic impact because we're shipping from closer to the consumer. So Turkey and Brazil for the United States. We also are working with brands and retailers to help them produce using our production base in China. And so you know that we have deals. We have made an agreement with a US brand where we are helping them manufacture their products so they have that quicker time to market and less expensive route to bring their products to their consumers.
Mm-hmm. And do you think it's for your business model, it's even more an advantage if you get closer to the consumer from the production point of view, that you actually reduce shipping times and arrival times?
Yes, it's good for us, it's good for the planet, it's good for us, it's good for the planet, it's good for the consumers, it's good for everybody. Unfortunately, we don't build production excellence centers, they already exist.
Yeah.
So what we can do is we can go around and enable places where they do exist to work with us in this model, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get closer and closer to our consumer. So like I said, that means products get delivered to our consumers faster, we have a lower impact on the environment, it reduces our costs, and it allows us to provide better products as well.
Yeah, so I don't believe I think the best for the planet would be to not consume at all. So, but that, goes to you and everybody else sitting in this room. So I'm not being the patronizing here guy. But I think
we can talk about that for a minute, because obviously it would be better if nobody consumed anything. But more than 70% of the consumers on our platform are women. So you take that home, Sven, and tell them that we're not supposed to go shopping anymore, okay?
No, I'm completely with you, and I think I really believe, I'm not getting politically, but like all this no-growth discussion is like pretty weird, because if you look into nature, everything is growing and then dying and decaying, okay, but that's fine. That's like, as we learned with Jens Korsen, this is the life cycle, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, coming back to Shein, when I look at yesterday we had Tarek here and speaking about you, and last year we had a lot of discussion, from my point of view, a bit hypocritical, because we created these production places in China over the last 20, 35, 40 years, and now we are scared that these factories come directly to our doorstep. And what I learned from Tarek is that he looked at your business model and he's trying also to set up like factory to consumer model where he can also work with the production facilities close by. So my question is now, I understand that the Chinese are used to work in a very smart and efficient way. How can you adopt this model and take it, for instance, somewhere to Turkey or Portugal, to Europe, actually to train them? Because we come from in a fashion industry, we come from these 3, 4, 6 month cycles, and that's what you've been reducing over the last 12 years. So, there's a lot of to be gained, I think, if this whole system changes.
This is why I actually joined Shein last year. So we have an industry that has been the same way for 100 years. I used to work for luxury companies, believe it or not, before I joined Shein. They're 100-year-old companies. They've been doing the same thing the same way for a very long time. This has completely revolutionized a bit our model on how we can serve consumers while getting the most out of the resources that we have available. So again, our model allows us to really come back to what the consumers want and only make products that are going to be valued, worn, and appreciated. And I think that the more companies that can go in this direction, the more manufacturers and platforms, whoever it may be, the more people that can go in that direction, the better it is for all of us, for the planet, for all of us. And in terms of competition, I think that no one company is going to run the internet. Hopefully, I hope that no but one company runs the internet, that we will continue to have multiple choices. So we're excited when we see that people are moving in the same direction that we are. It means that our business model actually works, and people are looking at it, and they're seeing how they can adapt it to their own businesses. And obviously, we spend a lot of time talking about this business model for fashion, but there are probably many opportunities to expand this type of business model that, people have been talking about consumer to manufacturer for years. So also, why not beauty? Why not home category? Why not different categories so that we can increase this efficiency across the board? So we're really excited to see people moving in this direction.
Yeah, so buckle up, guys. If you're not in the fashion industry, it doesn't mean that you're not affected. No, but seriously, I mean, if you look at the way you place an order, maybe you can just walk us to the end a bit like there. It's like you said, like it's not about Christina or Sven, but it's maybe about the trend you see. So, and you said you've been working with data, and I mean, you can call it AI or machine learning or whatever you want, but this is one of the key pieces at Shein, right?
Yes, and this is also something that when we talk about mastering this model, I mentioned that we have over 100 million consumers in Europe. We have over 300 million consumers worldwide. So in order for these kind of models to work, you need data, right? I can't just say, oh, wait, in German, everybody wants this thing, so I'll just make that. We need a lot of data in order to maximize this, this model. But like I said, it's not personal specific data, it's these trends. But the way that the actual buying something on our app works, and you should try it. We have great men's stuff too. It works the same as any other app. You scroll through, you look at it. When you see something, you can buy it. It goes into your cart. I think one of the biggest differences probably is that we have individual checkout carts. What does this mean? It means that if I have a retailer from Spain, the Box of Toys, that is selling toys on the platform to Spanish consumers, when the consumer comes to checkout, he'll only make one transaction, but he'll see each individual store that he's buying from. This is important. It goes back to how we are empowering also brands and retailers that are selling with us. It means the consumer knows that he's buying that product directly from that particular brand or that particular retailer, which we believe is an enabling aspect to brands and retailers, because as this market becomes more crowded, the biggest thing, we spend money on Meta, Facebook, all of the other sorts of digital communication channels. Well, it's becoming more difficult for brands and retailers to find space in that market as well. Through our platform, they can have that space. We don't take away their brand identity. You're checking out directly from that store, but you're reaching consumers that have come into an app with, most importantly, an intention to buy. Okay? They didn't come to our app with the intention to scroll through videos. They didn't come through our app with the intention of checking up on their friends and family. They came to our app with the intention of buying something. Maybe they don't know exactly what, but they came with the intention to buy. And I think that's really important, a very big difference between some other platforms that we could look for brand awareness on and being directly in the Shein app.
Okay. All right. Okay. Then one final question to wrap this up, maybe as a look ahead, since we cannot talk about the IPO.
No.
How do you picture the fashion industry on a global scale over the next 5 years and the role of Shein in it?
I think that one of the things that you mentioned just a moment ago about more and more brands and retailers looking at this model, I hope that we have started a revolution that will make manufacturing and supplying goods to people. I don't believe that people will stop buying fashion. Fashion's a form of expression. We all want to buy something that makes us feel good, that makes us look good, and it's different for every single person. So I hope that people can still keep buying things that they like, but that as an industry, we manage to find better ways of producing products and getting them more readily and more easily to our consumers.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming. And
great to be here.
All the best.